What's happening, everybody, and welcome to episode 45. President 45, 46?
Nah, 45.
45. Episode 45.
Man, we were on Barack last time. Now
right.
we on Carrot Head.
Yeah.
We on Carrot Head, man. No, we said the next one was going to be him.
Because he don't carry it. The President of the United States. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 45 of the NBA Files. Nah, it's okay. It's the President, but you can call it whatever you want to call it. As always, my man Everett, what's good, brother?
Always good to be here.
Shout out New Video Productions, doing the ones and twos for us. Second week of the NBA season is upon us. Exciting things going on, but first and foremost, we got to talk about the fisticuffs.
Yeah, man.
We got to talk about my man Draymond Green being about that life yet again.
Now, hold on. Now, before we get into about that life, his argument is he didn't do anything wrong. He was defending himself because Bradley Beal, who is 5 inches shorter,
he's St. Louis.
St. Louis, born and bred, right? You know, showed him hands, didn't like the way he handled him after a rebound, and got up in his face. And he says, according to Draymond Green, hit him twice. He said, what point as a man do I allow my pride to step in and say, you know what, you're not just going to sit here and bully me on national TV and then have to show you this work? And that's what he did. And they didn't really show him work.
He put him in a baby boy. He didn't throw much, he just put him in a baby boy.
Right.
You know, made him.
Vin rings him. Yeah, he just had him like, shut up, Jody. You know, and just kind of wrestled him to the ground kind of thing. But, I mean, at the end of the day, look, Draymond is what Draymond is.
Is he the best of the baddest guys in the NBA? The question is, he the best bad guy in the league?
I mean, he's the best Dennis Rodman, you know, like that bad boy mentality. No, he's not as crazy as Dennis Rodman. But in terms of bad boy being an agitator, in terms of being a guy that gets under your skin, in terms of a guy that's really loud and mouthy, yes, that's him. There's nobody close.
I reference him as like the black Bill Laimbeer.
That's a good one. That's a good comparison.
Because Bill Laimbeer will never get credit for being. Well, he'll never get credit though for being one of the first. I won't say stretch forwards, but one of the first centers that could step out and shoot a three-pointer, could still rebound, could defend, was unathletic. Draymond's a little bit more athletic.
Right.
But the thing that's funny to me is, I mean, at this point, Dre, just say this is what I do. You know, what happened, man, is what I do. It comes with the territory because he's gonna get suspended. Oh, no, he won't get suspended. He'll get fined.
You want to call him the Vontaze Burfict in theory. You know, Vontaze Burfict for the Bengals is a head case.
Because Draymond is a better player. He's a champion.
Okay.
You know,
the Bengals haven't won anything.
He's what an American dream is supposed to be. A guy that's taken in the second round. A guy that's been counted out.
Had to work hard to get where he was.
Vontaze is a knucklehead. There's a big difference.
Okay.
Big difference. But to me, Draymond will always be. It's two types. My father always told me, there's two types of men in this world, son. There are dudes that go get guys for fights, or the guys that are going to get in that you go get for the fight. Right. Always be the guy that they go get. And Draymond Green is always the guy you're going to go get for a fight. I'm going to go get Dre.
Yeah, if I'm going down an alley, I'm going
to get Dre. You know what I mean? And that's what you always want to be. I'm not saying I'm the guy that goes get people. But I had to open up the show that because it happened last night. It happened. Okay. What I miss here? What I miss?
Carry on. Just taking notes.
Here we go. With no pen. No pen. Shots fired. Shots fired. You taking those with no pen. That's a slight diss. I had to start the show off that way because it happened last night. Now, from one unintentional dysfunction to a current dysfunction that just won't seem to go away. And I am not talking about the person. I'm talking about the people that keep putting cameras in his face. LeVar Ball, apparently.
That's your man, Pots and Pans.
It is. And apparently SportsCenter has stock in Big Baller Brand. Apparently MSNBC has. Everybody has stock in LeVar Ball except his son, who manages to keep playing well. But who is keeping LeVar alive? Is it LeVar? Or is it the people that have cameras and showing his reactions at the lines of
So I'm going to say this, and I don't know how to say it without turning it into a thing.
Turn it into a thing.
But
it's a thing.
If LeVar Ball, for all intents and purposes, were blonde hair, blue-eyed, nobody would do this. Nobody would do it. But it's because he's the loud, arrogant, chauvinistic, African-American man that the majority of folks that are in media and things hate, but know he's going to drive ratings because he's so controversial, he's a lightning rod. They use and manipulate and let him use himself to be the tool to drive those media ratings and those media spikes, because if they stopped keeping the camera, if they took the camera out of his face, he'd be irrelevant. Yeah, he's only relevant because they started putting the camera in his face.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it seems that it's a media-driven thing at this point.
They hate him, but they're using him.
But and credit to him, shout out to him because he's using them
building
as well.
his brand, right.
He's using them
It's
as well.
dual,
He's making
right.
money across because they're charging money. They're charging prices, charging to do interviews now.
Yep.
You know, people are lining up to interview him. But we were talking before the break, before the show, we were talking about Ben Simmons. And he has the same father, he goes about
not
it
out there in front of the media.
Exactly, but his father, Ben Simmons' father's at every game.
Right.
He's at most practices.
Yep.
He's instrumental, influential in Ben Simmons' life. You just never hear about him. And if you think about it, just bringing it on the court, which is where I'm going to take it to, Lonzo and Ben have similar games. They have similar games. They're old school style play. They're pass first players.
Okay.
They play the game on an academic level, almost on a scholarly level. They see things before they go. As much as people want to say Ben Simmons is athletic, he's really not. He's tall.
I was going to say, if you made Ben and Lonzo the same height,
They'd be about
the same player.
Yeah. So, taking this one step further, should the players, that's the issue I have here, should the players give a damn about what LeVar Ball says?
They shouldn't, but most of these guys, like a Draymond and some of these guys that get drafted later that aren't highly touted, that aren't top 2 picks.
I haven't heard Draymond say anything about him,
It's not what I'm saying, but follow me for a second. Guys that had to earn their spot to get put there. They didn't have their daddy mouthing their way to the team that they ended up playing for. Are going to take offense to this guy, unproven by NBA standards, who's not won anything at the NBA level, can have his daddy talk his way into going to play for one of the greatest franchises in NBA history, and finds a way to always be in front of a camera. And if he did it in a way where it was more so about putting his son up, that'd be fine. But he does it at the expense of bashing other people, and that's what pushes players off, because people don't like arrogance. They don't. And so you saw how Pat Beverly attacked him the first game. And what did he say? Welcome to the NBA. It's because you're daddy. He made it very clear. It's because of your dad. Not because of you. I don't really know you. It's because of your daddy. You wanted to stop, tell your dad to shut up. He's not going to do that. So don't get mad when the other, 20-some-odd NBA teams that have point guards that feel the same way come after him for it. That's what he's going to deal with until LeVar Ball stops talking. Or Lonzo becomes a superstar. Either way.
I got to go in on this one.
Go ahead.
Lonzo Ball has posted the highest combined assist total in 40 years in the NBA. He is a rookie point guard, which, in my opinion, is the hardest position to transition to in professional sports. I know a lot of people throw quarterback there.
Quarterback is.
I throw point guard there because you have to defend. Quarterback, as far as the NFL,
you got to learn 400 plays.
But that's
NBA's got 12.
That's considering coach, because a lot of times guys will slim down the playbook. But in the NBA, you have to go against not just the top players, but the top professional athletes in the world, and you do it 82 games a night. The NFL, 16 games. So to me, and the NFL is the one sport you practice more than you play, so you get an opportunity to really go after and adjust the mistakes that you made.
Okay.
I'm not saying the difference is negligible, but 10 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, right? Playing on a team that probably has maybe 4 or 5 high-level NBA
Who's averaging
players.
10, 8, and 8?
Lonzo Ball. Right now, 10, 8, and 8.
Okay.
Right now, 10, 8, and 8.
All right.
Those numbers aren't great, but they're not terrible. When you throw
What's Ben Simmons averaging?
Who cares? It's a conversation about Lonzo Ball.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because he's
Lonzo Ball-
averaging better than 10, 8, and 8.
But
Carry on.
But that's Eastern Conference, and there's context to that. When we're talking specifically about Ball, you also got to throw. You just kind of stepped over my point here. Highest combined assist total in 40 years. 40 years now. Who gives a damn what his dad is saying? That should be the opening argument. That should be the narrative. You have a special player. Patrick Beverly is a dude who we won't even give a damn about in a year. Probably in 3 months. Now, I like the Clippers, and I think the Clippers are playing well. But don't be fooled. Ain't nobody got a Patrick Beverly poster on their wall. That's jealousy coming out of his mouth.
Maybe.
He's upset about his father. I don't know if Patrick Beverly I don't know if he had a father in his life or not, but I do know Lonzo Ball does. I do know his 2 other brothers are headed to college. I don't know much about Patrick Beverly's family. So again, jealousy is a weak emotion. You got to overcome that. Players should not be talking about LeVar Ball, especially when I don't hear Patrick Beverly taking shots at Steph Curry.
Steph Curry dad ain't out there bashing.
But I don't see him on TV taking shots and pushing Steph Curry around. No, he's pushing the 85-pound rookie. He's
What
pushing.
does that have to do with anything?
Because these guys that are talking.
That's because LeVar Ball can't get on a court,
Yeah,
so
but
they
you
take it
know
out
what?
to the next best
That's
thing.
the
If LeVar Ball can
that's
get on a
their
court, they
excuse
cook him.
To bully a dude who's a rookie in the NBA. That's what you do to rookies.
Listen, LeVar Ball's the same guy said he was better than Michael Jordan.
Who
Like, come
cares?
on. Like,
I also said I would knock Suge Knight out in high school. Who cares?
listen, he
Can
said
can
Lonzo
beat
Ball was
Michael
better
Jordan?
than Steph
Can
Curry.
Can LeVar Ball beat Michael Jordan in basketball?
No.
So who cares?
He can't beat Michael Jordan at golf. He can't beat Michael Jordan at anything. Life, living,
Is Lonzo
nothing.
Ball better than Steph Curry?
No.
So who cares?
But the point is, it's about the attention and the distraction.
So
it ain't about Lonzo.
and that's
Lonzo
my
doesn't play
point.
on the
That's
Lonzo
my
Balls.
point.
He plays on
That's
the
my
LA
point.
Lakers.
As much attention as Lonzo Ball gets or LeVar Ball gets, it pales in comparison to LeBron James. Hold on, let me finish my point. Pales in comparison to Steph Curry. Pales in comparison to all these other superstars that I'm not hearing John Wall say no mercy for. I'm not seeing Patrick Beverly make a whole Sports Center segment about beating up Russell Westbrook or beating up Steph Curry.
I'm gonna say it to you again, real slow and loud for the people in the back. The NBA is a brotherhood, and most of the guys in the NBA, of the guys in the NBA respect their counterparts. That's why they dap before the game and they shake hands.
Some do.
And what I'm saying to you is, if Lonzo Ball was a guy 5-6 years in, proven, and his pop was talking, people probably would overlook it and say, you know what, he's proven himself, he's earned that. But he was walking in the door of the NBA unproven. He could very well turn out to have been a bust. Total trash. And right now he doesn't look that way.
About to say.
But he's 6 games into his career. Let's slow down just a little bit. Let's let him get a little further down the road.
Slow down.
The point I'm making to you is, let him prove himself before he's got his dad yapping off about how great he is and how much better than everybody else around him he is. And that's why guys are coming for him.
Let me clarify my point then, and we're going to switch topics to Eric Bledsoe in a minute, but let me clarify my point then for the slow and special. You don't get to dictate how another player announces his presence. And when that player is giving you numbers that haven't been posted in 40 years, you, Patrick Beverly, you, John Wall, need to just be happy that you got a front row seat. Unless you're going after, especially John Wall, whose team is struggling right now. Especially John Wall, whose team was supposed to be the
John Wall's team was undefeated until the other day. They lost their first game like 3 nights ago. Stop.
And then they lost to the Lakers, which they have no business losing.
Okay.
Then they turned around and lost to the Warriors after being up by 20-some points. And
it's the Warriors.
Between you and I think I'm a bigger John Wall fan than you.
No.
So I
like John Wall.
I call him out more than some because I think he should be better. So my point is,
he's top 5 in the NBA.
This young dude is doing something special. Direct your angst at him. Don't give a damn about his father.
They are directing it at him on the court.
But it's motivated by what his father's saying.
Again,
be motivated by.
If you're bashing guys in the league, what do you expect them to do? They all grown men.
Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, what about him?
Stuck in Phoenix.
He don't want to be there. That's what he said.
That's what they're saying. He said, do you believe that? Look, I have gone with, all right, for those who don't know full disclosure, let me give full disclosure. Yeah. Eric Bledsoe sends out a tweet on, I guess,
the other day.
Minutes, hours after Earl, the coach.
Watson.
Thank you. Earl Watson was relieved of his duties in Phoenix. He then sends out a tweet, I don't want to be here. He
stinks as a coach. He was terrible.
Oh, that's neither here nor. But he sends out a tweet, says, I don't want to be here. Management took it and ran with it, said that he meant, Eric Bledsoe meant that he didn't want to be in Phoenix. Bledsoe's reasoning was, I was at a hair salon with my girl, said I didn't want to be there. Management didn't believe him, sent him home.
I'm at a hair salon with my girl. Come on, bro. All right. You got to do better. Like, he got to come up with...
really.
Maybe if he had a picture of him standing in the hair salon, people would have believed him.
That's not him. That's not how he operates. But let me just say this. For you to call the man out and say he's lying without any shred of proof other than I don't believe... He could have came up with a better lie unless it was the truth. Unless it was the truth.
Or maybe he doesn't want to sound like the bad guy running from a bad team.
Okay.
A malcontent who will make it hard for him to get traded to other teams.
Available. What team?
He's been available. They've been trying to move him for a year.
It hasn't got done. What team should pursue? What team would he make a difference?
Some mid-market team that really isn't a fringe playoff team, maybe. Atlanta. He fits in Atlanta.
They've got Dennis Schroeder. Let me ask you a question.
I'm not a fan of Schroeder. I don't like his game. I thought giving up on Teague over him was stupid, but that's me.
Let me ask you a question, though. You say a fringe. What does Eric Bledsoe give you?
He's a guy that I'm thinking teams in need of a point guard, top of my head. Chicago, maybe.
But what does he give you?
Listen,
they don't need a point guard.
right now, the Cavaliers don't have a point guard. Derrick Rose and Isaiah Thomas are both hurt. Wade's coming off the bench.
Yeah,
you plug them in there. Why not give LeBron another guy that can come in there and average 20? Maybe that'll help him beat the Warriors. Go for it. You can get him for the cheap.
We talked about that, and I disagree with you in that because although he plays better defense than Isaiah Thomas puts pressure on the other team.
And when Isaiah Thomas, he'll go into a rotation.
But
listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I like Eric Bledsoe over J.R. Smith.
Oh, stop it.
Yes.
Stop it.
Over J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith plays one side of the ball, and he's streaky. And he plays one side of the ball.
Breaks must be taken. We'll be right back on the NBA Finals.
Here we go. So welcome back to the NBA Files. I'm Everett Terry with Kwame Fisher-Jones. So we've talked about some things already. One of the key things that people are looking at very closely is this Anthony Davis situation in New Orleans.
I am.
I'm looking at it too.
I am.
I don't think the pieces of the puzzle fit. So do you think it's time for the Pelicans to move on from Anthony Davis?
I wrote the question. And I said,
that's fine.
I've been back and forth with it because here's why. You raised a valid point. Everett said to me that he's the face of the franchise.
Yes.
He's a good guy. But the franchise ain't winning with him. Yeah. And the franchise hasn't been winning.
Because he stays injured.
But even when he was healthy, they
made the playoffs.
They made it to AFC though.
But
they were 500 AFC.
Right.
But
he's got to play 60 games for him to be relevant. Because they don't have any other talent around him. They gave him Boogie, but him and Boogie they can play off each other, but that's not the way the NBA is now. He needs a wing.
I love DeMarcus Cousins, but the conversations about Anthony Davis, if you're asking me, look, as a LeBron James fan, yes, I want them to move on because I want him in Phoenix. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So you want to give him Anthony Davis too?
Yeah, I do.
Why don't we go get the Monstars while we're at it and just give him a whole All-Star team?
Well, I don't like the Monstars.
Maybe then they can beat the Warriors.
Look,
come on, give him Anthony Davis too.
I love the NBA. We all know I love the NBA.
Right.
But I love when talent is together and they can play. I love dominance. If you give him Anthony Davis and you take away, let's say, Tristan Thompson,
that's not going to be enough.
I was just about to say that still makes the story. It still makes the story readable.
That don't move the needle for
it may
Orleans.
not, but what if LeBron can rise to challenge? What if he can take the guy who can't stay healthy, could only make it to the AFC, and give him a ring the same way he gave a dude that had never been to the playoffs a ring? Because when they got Kevin Love, and they got I can't even remember the other dude, but when they got Kevin Love, I'm joking, Kyrie, it was a joke, relax. But when they had Kevin Love and Kyrie, people said it may not be enough, and they still came back and done it.
I think at minimum it's going to cost them at least Kevin Love and that draft pick.
I don't think that,
because the money's got to fit.
But the money's got to fit, and Tristan Thompson makes a bunch of money, but he's
terrible. He's
terrible.
They don't need him when they got Boogie.
Look, you got to look at it from both sides. You got to sell the trade. Of
course.
Now, let's be realistic. Do we want Anthony Davis in Philly? Hell no. Do you want Anthony Davis in New York? Hell no. Do we want him in Golden State? Hell no. Do we want him in Memphis? Hell no. But we do want him in Cleveland. So if you're Cleveland, because it makes for drama, and it would make the Cavs that much more affordable. And if you can sell an expiring contract with Isaiah Thomas, that top 5 Brooklyn pick.
He's injured. You can't trade an injured player.
Who, Isaiah Thomas?
Yes.
If he's not on IR, I believe that
he is on IR. He's injured.
No, but he's scheduled to come back in December, which would change where they have him. I'd have to look at the new, because it was a new collective bargaining agreement, so it changed. But even so, you can make that work. You get trade IT, right? You trade
IT and Cousins again?
No, Tristan Thompson, and you have to get that top 5 pickup. If you're New Orleans, why would you not make that trade? Why would you not make that trade?
Listen.
No, realistically. Put your hate for LeBron aside.
That O-line coach in Miami, who got caught making Instagram videos is the reason why, okay?
Why would
There's no way you make that. Is a terrible trade.
Well, how is it?
Anthony Davis doesn't want to leave New Orleans.
Okay.
Granted, he stays injured, okay? We understand that. And there's guys in this NBA Joel Embiid and others, who stay injured. The point I'm making is, if you're going to trade a guy who's arguably top 2 at his position in basketball.
What's his position?
forward, stretch, four, center.
Exactly. You gave me 5 positions.
He's stretch, four, center.
You gave me 5 as a forward, center, guard, stretch, port. Yeah. You just gave me 5 positions.
He's a stretch four who can play the 5.
That's why you make the trade. You raise a valid point. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm trying to do is give you a different viewpoint. Because if you're New Orleans, you get an opportunity to get out from under Boogie Cousins, so you're not going to re-up. You get an opportunity to get a professional in Tristan Thompson, he's not going to be the face of
Is he running around with Khloe Kardashian?
But he's still a professional. You never hear anything about Tristan.
No, you don't, except that he's overpaid for what production he gives you.
But you get a guy in the contract, but you also get an opportunity to get cap space because you don't have anybody outside of Tristan making money, and you get 2 top 10 picks. It's a good move if you're not going anywhere with Anthony Davis. So you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, and I'm not calling Anthony Davis a female, but I'm saying, is she worth it? Am I going to marry this chick? If not, I really don't need to move her in.
They gave him a 6-year contract.
They gave him $1 million.
Right.
Yeah, but he ain't going though. They have him. Look, you and I know Anthony Davis. Even if he's healthy, they're not getting past the 8th seed in the Western Conference.
They might get to 7.
This is what you call a contrarian.
But this is not enough.
This is what you call a contrarian.
No, here's what I'm going to say. It's not enough to make them relevant because they need a wing.
So what do you want?
Listen, here's what I'm saying to you. The West, in order to compete, you have to have a 3-headed monster. They've got a 2-headed monster that plays at a dinosaur position in the NBA. That's the problem. If they had 3 wings, like, say, OKC, they'd be in a position to compete. They don't. If they'd have got Paul George or they would have got Melo, then I'd say, you know what? Slow down. But Melo would have never went to New Orleans because it doesn't make sense for him. Now, here's where Rondo is going to be the key piece in this. Because if Rondo comes back and he plays well and gets these guys playing, which we know. I like Rajon Rondo. They get Rajon Rondo to getting these guys to playing better because he can facilitate and distribute the ball and get guys in good positions. Maybe it's not a trade that happens, but if it is a trade that happens, the point I'm making to you is get fair value for Anthony Davis. Tristan Thompson in any part of a trade ain't fair value when he's the marquee piece that you're getting.
He's not the marquee piece. The top 5 pick.
Listen, in terms of player value, you say to them, I'll tell you what, you give me that top 5 pick because of who Anthony Davis is, because we don't know, it could be 1 to 5, and you're definitely going to give up Kevin Love. You give up those 2, then fine. Now here's the problem with that. Does that make the Cavaliers that much better? Because here's the problem. Durability matters. And Anthony Davis will play a game, and then he'll tweak his knee, stepping out the shower, and he'll be out for 3 weeks.
The offer, and I know we're going to move on to the Clippers, but the offer, the Cavaliers have been trying to move Kevin Love for Marcus Cousins. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Well, no, Sacramento said no, and then they turned around and traded him for a peanut butter and Nutella sandwich.
Right.
But if
they wanted to get young without the money.
I think that if you're New Orleans, you got a decision to make. And whether or not it's not about what you can get for Anthony Davis, it's about where you can go after you get rid of him. That's the bigger issue. Okay. And if you get a guy who's got a bad contract, or you get a guy who you think is good, who you think is going to have a high ceiling, and he falls on his face, you're in a whole heap of trouble. You get a guy like Tristan Thompson, you know what you have, and sometimes knowing what you have is better than wanting something.
Tristan Thompson's not even a top 50 player in basketball.
I would say he's probably top 49 player.
Okay, fair.
I would say they're top 8 seed. I would say they'd be 7th. That's a contrarian.
All right, so he's top 49 player in basketball, and this is the guy that we're talking about that we're going to headline a deal with the top 2.
The centerpiece of the deal, and you guys.
It's an unproven top 5 pick, and you don't know who's coming out this year that's going to be worth it.
It's the Sam Presti, San Antonio Spurs, and I'll go and even change voices to Bill Belichick logic. Sometimes not having anything is better than getting something. Getting a player back with a bad contract, getting a player back and eating up your cap space when you're completely starting from scratch is not a good way to start. And when you lose Anthony Davis, you're not going to land on your feet, dog. It's like LeBron. When LeBron walks away, Cleveland ain't going to land on his feet. Having Paul George and you ain't going to walk away and be clean. Like, you're going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to get dark and ugly. So
that's why they're glad they won. Got it out the way. All right, moving ahead. Now,
come on.
I know you've been waiting for this topic. So Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook, who I have in fantasy, by the way, is well on his way, to starting off with the same, level of play. The moniker is consistent.
Yes, sir.
Do you think he can do it for a second straight year and actually win in the playoffs, getting as deep as the conference finals?
I do.
Goodbye.
Last night, Russell Westbrook.
Where's the car?
They lost to the Timberwolves.
Russ had exactly. Twice to the Timberwolves.
Yes, they have.
Twice to the Timberwolves. Who you said was going to be a middling team that was going to be poop.
And what are their record? What's their record?
Are they better than OKC?
No.
Who you said was, yes, the record is better than OKC. Check it, sir.
I don't care if their
stats on the break.
No, hold on. I don't care. Let me be clear. Let me be precise and clear. I don't give a damn if their record's better than OKC. My question is,
you had OKC as a top 3 team in the West.
4, and I still believe that. What is Minnesota's record? What is Minnesota's record right now?
3-3.
Okay, so they're a middle of the road team.
They're better than OKC.
Okay, if that's what you want to say, just keep saying it twice doesn't make it right. The point is, Russell Westbrook 27, 9, and 8 last night, 16 shots.
Yeah.
For the year, 23, 12, and 9.
Okay.
With a whole new team.
But the argument isn't about the triple-double. Because you know what I do notice, and I'll give you credit? He's finding Melo, and finding Melo a lot.
Say that again. Say that again.
He's finding Melo.
Say that again slow for
He's
camera.
finding Melo. He's looking for Melo, and that's great.
No, about you wanted to give him credit.
I'm giving him credit. I listen, I can come and eat my crow. He's finding Melo. But by the same token, Mr. James Harden's also elevated his play with the absence of Chris Paul. But we'll come back to that. Listen. He's finding Melo, but the problem is they're not winning. Why? Because they're not playing defense. How many points did they give up last night?
It's
100 and what?
They
To the Timberwolves. How many points they give up last night? They couldn't stop them.
I'll stop you in your tracks right now. Their defense has been shoddy. They've been inconsistent offensively. At times, they've been standing around watching Carmelo, not Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Paul George looks like a fringe.
He's
JV
just standing out there
player.
waiting for the ball.
Well, he looks like a fringe JV player, and I argue with people about this all the time. Coaching matters.
Well, Billy Donovan's not a good coach.
I don't know if he is or isn't. I know you say
He was good at Florida.
I don't know if he is or isn't. What I do know is
20
you
years
got
ago.
talent now. Same thing with Brett Brown. You got talent now. Don't give me he is a good coach. Show me he's a good coach.
Fair.
Because you've got a guy, Russell Westbrook. You brought in Raymond Felton, who they've developed and looks good. He's in
Pretty
shape
good.
the first
Right.
year. I need to see more out of him. But with all that being said, do I think that they can make the conference finals and Russell have a triple bubble? Yes, and yes. Because he's smarter.
No.
We talked about top 50 players. He's smarter than, I would say, 99% of the league. I'll take Steph Curry out of that. He's not smarter than Steph Curry. Obviously not smarter than Bron. Not smarter than D. Wade.
Not smarter than Kawhi.
No, he's smarter than Kawhi.
Not smarter than
Kawhi.
Durant.
He's got a higher basketball IQ than Kawhi. He's got a much better higher IQ. That's why Kevin Durant's always complaining about not getting a shot.
Come on.
So, look, bottom line, yes, he can do it. It's about matchups, though. They have to get Golden State in the playoffs. That's the only team that they can beat in a 7-game series. Houston would wipe the floor with them.
So was San Antonio. And San Antonio, by the way, is doing it without Kawhi Leonard.
Well, yeah, that's the next question. We're going to talk Clippers, San Antonio.
Yeah.
I don't know if San Antonio could beat them, but I'll tell you this. They can lose to anybody from Memphis, Minnesota, to...
We already know they can lose to Minnesota.
Memphis, Minnesota, and the Clippers, but they would beat Golden State.
By the way, Wiggy with the buzzer beater. Same guy you said was
Hold
a
on. Are you really going to say this dude who hit a Steve Urkel half-court shot somehow is getting a round of applause?
Listen, all I know is, I don't know if maybe it's because he got those 8th grade braids in there, or what he's got them cornrows.
He do got the kid close eye braids.
They stop like right here in the back of his neck. Don't even come over here.
He has been all night like this.
Listen, him and Embiid the same way with them young braids. But the man hit a buzzer beater. That's all I know. Now, let's move along because we got a couple things we got to get through before we hit the break. Another topic. So here we go. Mr. Victor Oladipo. Victor crossed over by kid Oladipo, is actually playing good basketball in Indiana. Good basketball. And actually looks better than both Paul George and Kyrie Irving. Are you surprised?
Last year. Remember last season?
Where you ripped them consistently?
Well, not just Oladipo, but I'm talking about Indiana. I said Indiana's going to playoffs. I thought the Pacers would be a better team. In fact, that was with when we did the show at Gary's Barbershop. Shout out Gary Barbershop, 12 East Main Street, Maple Shade, New Jersey, where I actually picked the Pacers to beat the Cavaliers in the playoffs. And
how'd that work out for you?
It didn't work out at all. But I did that based off the fact that I love Nate McMillan as a coach.
I like
He's
Nate
a
McMillan,
coach
too.
and a player developer. I'm not surprised at what he's done with Victor Oladipo. Look, everybody talked about the Sixers coming into the season. I was like, pause. Indiana, Miami, and Detroit are going to be better than what you think because they all got good coaches. Detroit is, I believe, a 500 team. They got a better record than the Sixers.
Oh,
and they'll middle around there, though. So Nate McMillan can coach and develop players. Oladipo, 26 points a game, better than Kyrie and Paul George.
He gets to be in a low pressure place where he played college, same place he played college ball.
Indiana's not low pressure, but
I say low pressure in terms of it's a mid-market team. It's not a major market team. He doesn't have all eyes on him. He doesn't have to live with the expectation of playing with a Russell Westbrook. You know, in Orlando, nobody cared what he did. He just got to go be the guy and play ball, but he wasn't developed. In Indiana, he gets to be developed and get to be the guy because who else do they have there?
Miles Turner. Who's playing well as well.
Miles Turner is playing well, but Miles Turner is a big. He plays under the paint. He's more of a rebound dunk put back. He can get his own little touch shot here and there, but he's not a focal point of an offense.
They got a good young team.
They got a good young team. I didn't say they didn't.
And he's played
They're one
well.
piece away. Eric Bledsoe will look good there. All
You know
right.
what? You might be right.
There it is.
You might be right because I'm in full disclosure. I don't know what Eric Bledsoe does for you. I don't
he
get
would be
it.
a good fit there.
So if he goes there, then does Victor Oladipo regress to the type of player he was in OKC?
No, he becomes that guy, and you let Eric Bledsoe, like he did in Phoenix, pick and choose where he gets his shots.
Maybe
score.
Indiana State. I mean, because people thought when Larry Bird walked away that they would fumble and they would fall out.
Right.
And they managed to say, well, Paul George, they got a solid deal from him, and we argued that.
It wasn't a great deal. It was solid.
Well, you know, it was a great deal in the sense that they wanted to get 2 starting players, and they did that. So I like the Paul George.
Okay.
All right, so we'll wrap this break up. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk Markelle Fultz fiasco, but this is the Sixers in general.
Yeah, up all time.
Everett Terry, Kwame, Fisher Jones, we're right back at the time. All right.
I pay attention for a living. I watch plays and make important calls. While I'm busy watching a game, I need your help in keeping an eye on the stands. We all play a role in protecting our communities. If you see something suspicious, make the right call. Tell a law enforcement official.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the NBA Files. I'm Kwame Fisher Jones. This is Mr. Blue Suede Shoes. Everett Terry Jr.
Right there.
Can't put your shoes on here. You got to take them up and lift them up. Shoes with no laces. My father always told me if they don't have laces, they're slippers and you can't wear them out.
Oh, man.
All right. Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Speaking of dysfunction, what the hell is going on with Markelle Fultz?
You mean besides the broken jumper? Besides the fact that he takes games off and doesn't
I'm
play?
gonna borrow your, listen, man. The jumper works fine. If the one thing Markelle Fultz did before he got into Philly was score the basketball. He couldn't pass, he couldn't defend, he couldn't move without it, but he could score the basketball.
How many threes he taken this year?
I don't know.
1, maybe 2.
Look, he looks.
Over under 2.
I didn't want the Sixers to draft Markelle Fultz.
I know you did.
I didn't.
You hated it, and you sat there and you said Danny Ainge is the greatest, the greatest magician there ever lived because he hoodwinks in every deal. And people got all say, "Oh, we get Markelle Fultz." Markelle
They
Fultz
hadn't seen him play a game.
Right, Markelle
They
Fultz.
hadn't seen him play a game. All they saw was YouTube
Can't
highlights
hit
and
the
trust
floor.
the process
Can't
commercials.
play. He cannot.
I won't
play.
say he can't play. Look, let me ask you a question. Are they fixing Lonzo's shot or any other top 5 player's shot in any other places they've landed? When have you ever tried to teach the first overall pick how to play basketball? When have you ever had to do that? Now, as I pose all that to you, I want to ask you and the Trust the Process fans a question. When do we stop pointing at the players? Everyone doesn't suck. From Nerlens Noel, MCW, Jahlil Okafor, Joel Embiid, Dario Saric, and I even throw Ben Simmons in there. Stop me when a first-round pick has played well.
Well, the Okafor one is the only one that stands out to me. He actually played well. The Sixers just used him terribly, and now they're trying to offload him. They got him sitting there healthy, scratched, CD coach's decision did not play. That's stupid.
You know I love Jahlil. I'm a huge Jahlil dude.
I can't wait till they trade him and let him go play somewhere where he puts up 18 per.
Well, in the system that they put him in, he looks horrible.
In his rookie year offensively, he was very, very effective.
Yeah, he played well.
He wasn't good defensively, but offensively he was very, very good. And I think you get the right coach, keyword around him, who can develop him. Then we can get to that.
That's next on the block. We're gonna get to him in a minute.
I think that's important. I think that's what the Sixers are lacking. I think Brett Brown has gotten so accustomed to just sitting there and letting them lose and just following the orders.
It's not just him, though.
It's an organizational thing.
I mean, what the hell? Markelle Fultz didn't play all the summer league. What were you doing when he wasn't playing in the summer league? At some point, somebody should have been working with this young man.
They were letting him eat down the street of Geno's and pass.
That's not good enough, E. That's not good enough because you're ripping this young man. People are ripping him. He looks confused. He looks disheveled and things he's been doing the majority of his life. And I'm starting to I take umbrage to that. I take supreme umbrage to that because everybody doesn't suck. And because he's not on Twitter doing shucks and jives, because he's not running around being affable and loving and love me, hug me, everybody's dumping on him. Everybody's dumping on Jahlil.
When you're the number 1 overall pick, people have expectations, as they should.
But that's fine. But there has to be player development there. Everybody doesn't suck.
We understand.
Who the hell's idea was to let him go to the foul line and shoot that?
Let me finish my point. He's 6 games into his NBA career and has played half of them, give
He
or
looked
take.
bad in summer league too.
The point I'm making is this. When you have a number 1 overall pick, okay, you typically will see pretty early if they've got the skills. We saw Ben Simmons play. His first 5 games of NBA career, he's wowed people. First 5 games he's ever stepped on an NBA floor, he's wowed people, which says he was worth the pick. You see Markelle Fultz play, and the small sample size we've seen him play, it's just like, this guy needs to go to the G League and go work on his game.
Man's trying to tell me I'm right and I won't take it. No, that's not good enough, man. Because if you put Markelle Fultz in San Antonio, he doesn't have these problems.
He doesn't play in San Antonio. He's riding the bench behind DeJounte Murray.
He may play 15, 20 minutes, but those 15, 20 minutes, he looks spectacular, and everyone would say you got to give him
He's also
time.
playing in the Spurs system.
And thank you.
Pop is the best at developing players in the NBA.
I actually don't think he's the best, but I think San Antonio's good at it. I actually think the best in the game right now is the Milwaukee Bucks coaching staff.
Okay, Jay Kidd now.
Yeah, Jay Kidd, because you look at what they did in Brooklyn as well. The reason why I'm so upset about this is, I knew Markelle Fultz was going to struggle if he came to Philly. I said that, and I could pat myself on the back when my suit's too tight.
That's true.
The frustration about it, though, is how can people turn on him so fast? It's
because they want here's the problem. So these trust the process people have heard for years, there's light at the end of this tunnel. We're starting to get these guys. They get Embiid. They're like, oh, is he going to play? Is he going to be good? Then they see flashes of him. They get all excited. They know Ben Simmons is legit. Now it's let's turn the corner. We expect to win. And the problem is Philadelphia is a microwave city. They're willing to suck as long as they know that there's something on the back end. But when they get to the back end, they want it now. And I'm shifting gears for a second. Philadelphia Eagles. Coming into the season, nobody had the Eagles as a Super Bowl team. Now they're 6-1 and everybody's screaming Super Bowl. Go trade for Joe Staley, who's 30-something years old, at old tackle because they lost Peters. But what I'm saying the point I'm making to you is, he's still in the league and he's actually very good he's a Pro Bowl left tackle. No, he's with the 49ers.
Yeah, that's what
the point I'm making to you is this. That's Joe Thomas who was at the Browns. The point I'm making is this. They're a microwave now. Let's go get it now. And the problem is the Sixers have come out of the gate and they've competed. But they've not turned the corner in terms of winning. And people are waiting for them to hit that 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-game win streak where Simmons looks good and B plays a back-to-back. Hold your breath. And you got Markelle Fultz giving you 18 to 20 per. They're not seeing that, and that's the frustration. The Sixers are a solid team, but they need more. They're not ready to compete at an NBA level in terms of being a playoff caliber
I have that
team.
down as one of the questions, but before we go there, everyone's screaming fire Brett Brown. It's a topic in every barbershop and
Needs to happen.
Well, rather than screaming and get rid of the man, let me ask you a question. What does Brett Brown do well? Exactly. Just stop. No.
Hold on. Let me hold on. If you add the
exactly.
And then hold up, but no, he doesn't do that. Yeah, I got nothing.
If I ask you, what does Eric Spoelstra do well? First thing you say, in-game adjustments.
In-game adjustments, yell and scream at people.
You also say prepare.
Cater to LeBron. Yeah. Defensive coach.
Yeah. What does Jason Kidd name develop players? Or actually, what Popovich does.
Everything.
Everything. It's Brett Brown has been here 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And you still don't know what Brett Brown does well.
Because we never had a chance to see him actually be on a team that was competitive.
And
he walked into a team that was bad and was asked to be really bad.
The team may not have been talented, but Brett Brown has had a top 10 pick every year he's been a head coach.
So did every coach in Sacramento.
And he hasn't developed them. And you said every coach in Sacramento? DeMarcus Cousins played for 6 coaches in Sacramento.
There's the point.
Exactly. So, but hold on.
Here's the one thing I'll say to that. And I'll throw this in there. How much of it is organization? We talked about Jahlil Okafor. The Sixers at points struggle to score. There's no way on God's green earth, as long as I breathe air, you're going to sell me. I'd rather see Amir Johnson run out there and flounder around on the court for 20 minutes per when you could give Jahlil Okafor for at least 10. Or at least throw him out there for 10.
McConnell, who you say TJ wins, I don't know.
Well, when he starts his assist to turnover, pass per dribbles, whatever ratio it was, that analytical stat that came up with.
Stop it.
But here's the point I'm making.
Suck, and he's been on the Sixers and they ain't winning. So
But the point I'm making to you is, why don't you see Jahlil Okafor for 10 minutes? And this is without Rashawn Holmes. Why don't you see him out there for at least 10 minutes, giving you something offensively? You're trying to trade him, market him, give him a chance to get out there and play offensively. Just don't have him worry about defending the rim. Just have them stand out there and score. They don't even do that. It's stupid to me, and I think that goes above Brett Brown.
I want to use an analogy, and we're going to talk Nerlens Noel, but I want to use an analogy. You said how much of it is organizational. I'm going to throw it to you this way. Everyone here has been to a hood or an urban place to buy, urban place for something. And when you go there, you see all these decayed buildings or whatever, but you'll see one thing that stands out. Maybe a good restaurant, maybe a nice home, maybe a nice car. Something stands out. My point is, regardless of the circumstances or the surrounding, if you're good, you'll stand out. And Brett Brown hasn't stood out. And it's been obvious. Nerlens Noel was a terrible, terrible offensive player.
Okay.
In the time he was in Philly.
But he was a great defensive player.
He was an active defensive player.
Okay.
That's unacceptable. Jahlil Okafor is a horrible, horrible defensive player.
Great offensive player.
That's unacceptable. At some point, that coach needs to develop people. It's not about the organization. It's about and not saying he doesn't have work ethic, but it's got to be a point where you take this talent and develop them. Now, speaking of Nerlens Noel, Nerlens said he's coming for Joel Embiid.
Okay.
No, hold on now. He said he's coming for him. He's geared up. He's ready to go. Talk to me, E.T. Should Joel be concerned?
No.
Should Joel be?
He practiced with this guy and actually wanted him to stay here. I don't know why he's saying it. Maybe he's just being
game he plays.
Right. He's just being competitive. And to be honest with you, I mean, they probably won't even be on the floor that much at the same time.
I think it will be. I think that Joel. It's hard. Jaleel. Joel runs East Philly or South Philly right now. I wasn't say East runs East. Joel runs it. He'll play against him. The reason why I threw that out, though, is Nerlens Noel is the forgotten processor. He's the guy that everyone just acts like didn't exist. Yeah, they didn't draft him. They didn't draft. You don't think Drew Holiday would be a better fit than T.J. McConnell right now?
I hated that he got rid of Drew
I didn't hate it at the move, but I just think that there comes a point where it's pretty obvious.
You gotta keep somebody there.
Is that he wasn't good. All right. Now, we both touched on this. Sixers are missing. I'm going to ask you point blank. What are the Sixers missing to help them get from they're going to get there to they've gotten there?
They need another wing that can score. Somebody that can handle the ball.
Didn't they just draft a wing that can score?
No, they drafted a wing. I don't know about the scoring part. They drafted a wing.
I got to tell everybody, I went on this man's show. I put together a 7-minute reel on Markelle Fultz.
You did.
I sat there, I gave the producers the time codes, and I was going to show his strengths, his weaknesses, and why he would struggle with the Sixers.
Right.
This man and his cohorts ripped me, would not let me speak.
It wasn't me. I just sat there and observed. Every time I tried to say something, they jumped down my throat. So to hear this man eating humble pie with 2 hands and no utensils, it wasn't me.
Amazing.
I sat there and observed. One Mr. Perry, we don't want to throw people under the bus. Perry. I just sat there and said, listen, I think the kid's got talent. I think he played on a winless team, doesn't have a winning culture around him, but he has the ability to score in bunches. We'll see if it translates. It hasn't translated yet.
It has translated. That player has translated, and it's unfortunate that he's getting ripped because you know how I am about the young dudes.
Right, give him a chance.
I coach basketball.
Right.
I know how hard these young men work to get to this level, and I just think that him being ripped because he's in a horrible situation. When you see what's going on at that free throw line, that's not about.
So you think trading him is the solution?
I can't trade him. You can't trade him this year.
Right,
I told you they would trade him next year, and I believe that he'll be on the trading block next year. They'll trade him next year because they'll get somebody else in the offseason. But the bigger issue is I just feel like Markelle Fultz is getting shafted right now.
Are they a lottery team again?
Yeah. I said that before the season started.
I agree.
You didn't think they'd be a lottery team?
No, I did.
You didn't think they'd be a lottery team again?
Listen, I said at best they were 8th, maybe 7th. I had people screaming at me 6th and 5th. I said drugs. No way, because Embiid, they don't make it unless Embiid can play a minimum of 50 games, and he won't.
They don't win when Embiid's on the court.
That's also true.
When did they cut down the Nets when Embiid? When did they do anything when Joel was on the court?
I mean, what are they, 1 and 2
They are more exciting, but they ain't winning. You almost made me curse. They don't win when Joel's on the court. They're 1 and 3. Joel is paid. What are they? 1 and 4, 1 and 3. I know they played tonight against Dallas. They didn't play. I mean, they weren't even.
I think they're 1 and 2 with Embiid.
They weren't even relevant when he played his. What did he play? 31 games.
They actually had a good winning record when he played in that month.
Did they?
Yeah.
They
won 20.
Did they really?
Yeah, they won like 20.
They had a good
20.
month.
Yeah, they
the
won
NBA
like 20
season's
games.
like 9 months long, but they had a good month.
I'm just telling you what I heard, man.
Yeah, nah, stop it. Look, they passed on Jonathan Simmons, who was the dude I screamed from the high hills.
I like Jonathan.
They should have went after in free agency. That bothered me because I tell you all the time, winning matters. Winning is not something.
And look at how he's looking over there in Orlando.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Orlando. But a guy I want to see them take a flyer on, and you're gonna say drugs. Mario Hezonja, plays in Orlando. Scott Skiles ruined him. Let me just tell you why before you get all in the tizzy.
Another Euro guy.
You know, before I ripped Dario, I watched Dario's game. I watched about 30 plus of Dario's games. Mario stood out every time. For those who don't watch EuroLeague games, the EuroLeague game is different than the NBA game. It's predicated on ball movement. Individual ISO basketball is not allowed. Have you ever seen the GOAT with Don Cheadle?
Yes. Great
Remember
movie.
when Don Cheadle went to Winston-Salem State? And he took the ball and it was the top of the key?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mario Hezonja. That's what he does. He is a dude that flies around the court.
He doesn't even have a spot out there.
No, Scott Skiles ruined him. He benched him. He called him names. They Kwame Browned him. But the kid's confidence level is still there. If you bring him, you said they need a wing. They need an assassin. They need a guy who can just play basketball and score and just run around. Mario would do that, and it won't cost you anything. What are you getting out of Nick Stauskas? What are you getting out of T.J. McConnell, who said he didn't want to go to Cleveland? Negro, please. I mean, what are you getting from these dudes? Make that move. Grab. He's a guy I want to see them take a flyer on because he can do something if given time. And with Ben Simmons pushing the ball.
But the problem becomes who's his coach? A guy that can't develop talent. So how is he going to know how to utilize him when he can't even utilize guys like Jill Okafor who he's seen play?
His coach wouldn't be Brett Brown. His coach would be the same scout or the same coach that works with Dario. He would be the Euro coach that Dario went with all season and worked with. See,
I'm talking about on the court. I ain't talking about off
but
season.
on the court, don't nobody listen to Brett Brown anyway. Didn't you see Jaleel jump off? Joel, he is shooting a three-pointer. Stay on your feet, brother. Stay on your feet. Why is he jumping? He gonna block Eric Gordon's shot? That didn't work out too well. And not only did he not block shot, you let James Harden push your big 7-foot butt out of the way. Like I said, ain't nobody playing Brett Brown a damn lick of attention. You can see it in the huddles. You can see it when they go on the court. We'll be right back here at NBA Files.
Every crime has a victim, and every victim needs help. Being violated by a crime can leave you feeling alone in the world. National Center for Victims of Crime can help. Let us be your resource, your support, your guide to rebuilding your life and restoring hope. Yes, you have the ability to recover. Take the first step. Call 1-800-FYI-CALL or visit us at www.ncvc.org.
Welcome back to the NBA Files. Blue Suede Shoes, also known as Eric Terry Jr., Kwame Fisher-Jones. Brought to you by New Video Productions. We talked a little bit about the Orlando Magic.
We did.
Are you surprised that the Orlando Magic 4-1 start? Can they sustain it?
No.
Oh, you cracked my lip.
Because they are who we thought they were. Listen, you are what you are in this world, to quote the great philosopher Kwame Fisher-Jones. Listen, they are who they're going to be. They're a good team, a nice little upstart. That's wonderful. But what we're asking is a team, a merry band of misfits with no real identity. The only player with any name staying power on their roster is Nikola Vucevic. It's the only person who jumps out to people. The Sixers, who they gave up for peanuts and candy.
Andrew Bynum.
Listen, I understand. And if they had Nikola Vucevic, they wouldn't have Joel Embiid, and they'd be a much better team, probably further along. But neither here nor there.
They're going to come looking for you.
Huh?
They're going to come. The processors are going to come looking for you.
Come look for me. You know what Nikola Vucevic does well?
Rebounds.
He actually plays 50, 60 games a year.
Rebounds, plays tough defense.
Plays defense, and can score, and doesn't need to shoot threes to do it, you know. But neither here nor there. The point I'm making is they are a team, again, they have him. He's their cornerstone piece of their franchise, and that's great. Who else do they have? They've got Evan Fournier. They've got Aaron Gordon, who had a 41-point game the other night. I was just like, where'd that come from? Because then he put up 16 the next. I was like, yeah, that's the Aaron Gordon.
They got DJ Augustin, Aaron Flowers,
bench.
They got a good mix of young players.
You screamed a whole bunch of bench guys and one
you're
starter.
Right. They're chopstick weak.
They'll win against the docile teams of the NBA, the teams that are terrible.
Docile,
they'll beat up on those those teams that will never win anything. But when they get to playing talent, legitimate talent in games that matter, are they going to beat a Cleveland? No. I don't even think they can beat Boston, even though Boston's injured, who, by the way, just got an $8.4 million exception for the Gordon Hayward injury, which was terrible, right? And maybe that helps to get Anthony Davis. Now, I would like to see him go to Boston.
Well, you know what? We can talk about that.
I'd like to see him in Boston. I think Boston makes for a much more intriguing matchup because him and Horford together, that's a matchup that makes more sense.
Him and Brad Stevens together
makes a lot of sense, too.
And you hate Tyronn Lue. Anthony Davis and Tyronn Lue makes a lot of sense to me. But going back to Orlando.
Frank
Vogel's a solid coach.
Solid coach. I like Frank Vogel.
Jersey native. Shout out Jersey.
Who shoots out their city? Like, go ahead.
Everybody.
I mean, shout out. I'm sorry, not shoot out.
Well,
no, they do that too
if
in
I'm
Jersey.
from Philly, no, wouldn't let anyone know that. You know, a home of garlic knots and smoking everywhere. But if I'm from Jersey, stand up, Garden State. Look.
Sorry.
Are they going to battle out for the 8th seed? I think so. I think they'll be around.
They'll be around.
Yeah,
They'll be around 9, 10, yeah.
Look, man, you can fight me to this till you're blue in the face. Winning is a habit. You have to keep yourself sharp, and you don't do that when you bring in guys that don't win. Jonathan Simmons is a winner.
We agree.
When you decide that you want to bring in J.J. Redick, or you want to bring in the likes of, I'm trying to think of another team that gave a lot of money to somebody. You know, as much as I like what the Clippers did, Danilo Gallinari. When you bring in those dudes instead of bringing in guys that may not have as much talent but know what it takes to win, it shows. Jonathan Isaac may be a better, I'm about to say this, may have a better career than Markelle Fultz because he's going to have an opportunity to learn from professionals who have had success in this league and who have been on 50-win teams, who have been on championship teams in Spades and Simmons, where Fultz is going to be behind guys who tweet and text a lot. That matters.
Okay.
And so I'm not surprised at what Orlando did because they've got a solid coach. They've got a solid organization. They've done a solid job scouting, and they've spent their money wisely. And Aaron Gordon's a guy that I've been high on since his days in Northern California. I just think he needed somebody to teach him how to harness all that athletic ability. But
while we're talking about teams that win, because I actually meant to bring this up earlier,
Lord.
those LA Clippers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look how your face
Yes, sir.
changed.
Yes, sir.
This guy got excited to talk about the Clippers
Yes,
for crying out loud.
Yes, sir.
Listen, they're the only remaining undefeated team in the NBA. I mean, are they for real?
We're up in your mouth.
Right. Are they for real? Come on.
Look, we say that 1,000 times. Look, man, listen. The Clippers, as long as Blake Griffin is healthy, you will have an opportunity to win.
Where's the unicorn at with the rainbow?
67, you're right. 67, 35, 67. That's how many games he's played in the last 2 years. That hurts.
That's not enough.
That hurts my soul.
That's not enough.
Because I'm a Blake Griffin, I'm a huge Blake Griffin fan. Huge. Very big. If he's healthy, which is a big if, he's not as bad as Jaleel or Joel, excuse me. He's not as bad as Anthony Davis.
Right. But
he's had his injury concerns. But Chris Paul is one of those dudes that just and sometimes that hamstring becomes sort of tendonitis becomes.
Let me make it 2 days. Let me make it 3 days.
I ain't got to see this Negro for 4 days. So look, I like what the Clippers are going to do. Top 4 team in the East.
Doc's actually coaching now. He's got to.
Doc's a good. Well, Big Baby spent the whole summer calling this butt out. He said he wasn't a good coach. Kevin Garnett, Big Baby Davis said he ain't a good coach.
Is he still in the NBA?
Kevin Garnett said, when asked if he was a good coach, that hurt. That hurt because you're talking about a top 5 power forward in NBA history.
He's higher than 5, but yeah.
Well, he's in the top. I would say he's in the top
3.
5.
I got the top 3 of all time.
You got Duncan,
Malone, and him. That's it.
I take him over Malone.
I agree. So
okay,
top 3.
One of the top power forwards of all. When he ain't coming to your defense, when you overplay for your bloodline, questions are abound, and they stripped him of his title.
Right. Now he's just a coach.
It's easy. Speaking from experience, it's a lot easier when you can just come in and be talent.
Right. You don't have to
ain't
do
got to argue with people.
Stuff.
You ain't got to deal
Contracts,
with the nonsense.
you ain't got to do nothing.
Rundowns and all that. You can just have fun. Clippers on that high street, man. Confidence levels are high.
We'll see.
Well, what do you think's going to happen here? You think Blake's going to get hurt?
No. Dad for sure, but I just think that, teams that get off the hot starts always reach a point where they level off for a little bit. Teams that hit cold starts always ramp up.
They got something to prove. But who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? Seriously, who's going to stop them?
You want me to run down the list?
Oh, I said top 4. So you got to get. So give me the other 16. Give me the other. Give me the other 12 teams that can stop them from being a top 4 team in the Western Conference. You can't. You can't because the argument is Houston, Oklahoma City, the Warriors. Spurs.
I actually think Memphis is better than them. I love Memphis.
I
like what Fizdale does. He's a
Fizdale.
very good coach.
He's got to get somebody in there though.
That's fair.
And
there could be a landing spot for listen. Anthony Davis
Bledsoe?
fits there.
Anthony
Eric Bledsoe fits there. A bunch of different. And the way he coaches,
They're not gonna
he
pay
gets
Anthony Davis.
guys
They're not gonna pay
run
Anthony
through walls for him.
Yeah, but you know what? They're an analytically driven team. They got John Hollister there from ESPN who kind of started this analytical wave,
Right.
and Ben Simmons. They're not going to pay for Anthony Davis because the wins don't translate. He's a numbers heartlet, but the wins don't translate. They would be more likely to get Boogie on a bounce. But I think Boogie's coming east. I think Boogie's,
Maybe.
I think Boogie's coming to the Knicks. I said it.
Okay. Oh God.
I
Listen.
said it. Yeah, I think he's coming to the Knicks.
Before we get out of here, Nikola Mirotic took a nice punch to the face from Bobby Portis.
Got his face broke.
Yeah, and it's out. And Bobby
Stand
Portis
on
got
two.
suspended.
Got his face broke.
I need details. What in the world happened? Listen,
I
what
don't.
did he say that got
I don't.
jabbed in the face? Probably came at him sideways, and Bobby said, "You ain't about that life. See these hands."
Brother, listen.
And he saw those hands, and then he saw the floor, and he had broken bones.
Brother,
Bobby
listen.
hits hard.
Brother, listen.
Bobby from them streets.
I don't need to know what. Bobby don't need to be from them streets. You can't be getting ready when somebody is born ready. You know what I mean? You can't be still getting your shirt
Talk
off.
about some. Hold up. Let me undo my tie.
No. And here's the big thing. Here's where it gets real. Here's where the gumbo gets thick. That dude first, when he was in the hospital, I'm willing to waive my no trade clause.
Right.
When they released him from the hospital and say, yeah, you can go back to practice, he walks the door and said,
Nah.
him still in there. So until him is gone, I'm not coming back. Wow.
Scary.
Wow. And
Bobby said, "I'm here.
yeah, Bobby said, Coach, I just want to ball. I just want to play.
I just want to play. Give me his minutes."
But you know, see, here's the thing. Every free throw you shoot, you looking over your shoulder,
Right.
hoping
He don't come over from the
hoping
side
that
in front of
one
the
day
fans.
He's hoping that he don't decide your shoes look better on his feet than they do on your feet.
Run them. What size are those? My size.
Exactly. His jersey looks a little crisper than mine today. Your parking spot, I think you should
Man.
park in parking lot F today.
And walk it.
Yeah, so Chicago, good lord, yo man, that story. When I saw the story, I was like, I said, well, what did he say? Then I said, you know what, face broke. I don't need no details.
Something happened.
You can't break somebody's face through it. Well, only a sucker gets sucker punched. But you can't break somebody's face if they don't see it coming. Breaking someone's face is a head-on shot.
Yes.
It's like a headbutt. You can't headbutt somebody from the side. So they were
And
eye
then
up.
he punched him in his face.
And he was getting ready, and he was born ready. Look, that's where it gets into. Before we go, I got to get your comments on this. I've been waiting all week. Why the HE double hockey sisters, the Sacramento Kings, give an honor or whatever for DeMarcus Cousins? Why?
Because he's beloved in the city. That's all I got. He's beloved in Sacramento. And then he went and turned him at the bar after the game. After he lit him up for 41 plus.
Drugs. Look,
41 and 20.
that was crazy when I heard that. All right, you didn't win a playoff game. Check that. You didn't finish 500. Check that. You never even made the playoffs. And we're giving video montages for this dude? And this is coming from a fan, an F-E-I-N. F-A-I-F-A. F-A-N, I was going to spell fanatic. Fan.
Okay.
And it blew my mind. It blew my mind so much I couldn't spell. You giving video montages for DeMarcus Cousins, you need to
He's
have...
the face of the franchise for 5 years and a model citizen in the community.
And nobody looked at
This
that
public
face.
service announcement is brought to you by the Sacramento Kings and DeMarcus Cousins.
On that note, for Blue Suede Shoes,
Hey.
new video productions.
I got my blue suede
Kwame
shoes.
Fisher Jones. This is the NBA 5. We will see you next week. Make sure you tune in every Monday, 10 a.m. for NBA Irreverency and Insight you will get nowhere else.
Anywhere
Until
else.
then, be easy.